What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 81.
We're getting
Woo!
there. We're getting
Yes,
there.
making our way. We are going to
Making
be
my way.
talking downtown. Okay, different kind of show. Yes, welcome. If you're joining us live, join us in the live chat, and if you're watching later, comment down below. We're going to be talking anime, Overwatch, and other kind of cool recommendations for you. Hello, I am Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
Yes, so I my cheesy. Oh, I'm gonna save that pun because we're gonna get into something else first. Not really much on the news front right now because it's
Hey.
summer, but stay tuned for all that. But different kind of news. We got Overwatch news.
Yes, speaking of talking about anime, we are back into tournament season. We are going to go a little nuts here. For those not aware, the APAC region has already finished all of their regular season play. Their bracket is ready to go, and they will be resuming play. Let me check the dates to be absolutely certain on September 15th. So we do have a pretty long break here. We've got a couple weeks. I believe we come back on August 26th for oh my God, it's that kind of day. Yeah. For NA region, we come back on August 26th for 2 more weeks of regular gameplay. And then we go into play-ins for those that qualify. And then at the end of everything, at the end of September, we have the finals in Toronto. So, get your tickets, get your plane tickets, get your hotel. If you're going to go, definitely go. But yeah, in the meantime, we had matches this weekend. Oh my God, did we ever have matches this weekend? To all the Gladiators fans out there, no, no, no. I don't know if anyone was watching the first match they did this weekend where they should have won and then they got reverse swept by New York. Like, nobody predicted, well, nobody on the desk predicted a Gladiators win. And to be quite frankly, I haven't either. But this is not the first time they've been reverse swept when victory was in their reach. And for those going, what is a reverse sweep? Matches are best of 3. A reverse sweep is when you have 2 and then you lose the next 3. It's when the underdog narrative really kicks in for the opposing team. It used to happen to the Valiant all the time. And then the Valiant turned around and did it to the Glads this season in the first battle for LA that we've had in 2 years. New York did it this past weekend to the Gladiators. And frankly, given the standings, it's not looking great for them because they are currently below the play-ins cutoff. They haven't been eliminated, but they need to win at least one of their next 2 matches, if not both. And the London Spitfire need to not do well. And considering the first half, the Spitfire and the Gladiators have switched trajectories. The Gladiators had a great first half of the season, and their downfall has been pretty much vertical. And London had a really rough first half of the season, and they are on a straight rise. So, reverse sweep, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Depends on your point of view, but yes.
Hello, Giga
Yes.
Derek,
Yes. Hi. So,
and hello, other
expecting.
quiet folks in the chat.
Yes, we see you. We love you. So, expecting London to do poorly so that you can do better. And also looking at the Gladiators' strength of schedule, uh, they needed to win their Sunday match. It was against Houston. They did not win their Sunday match. They need to win one of their next 2 matches against the Boston Uprising, who are in 4th place, one of those 4 teams that has been circling the top spots literally all season. Or they need to win against New York again. They are playing New York again. So, yikes, yikes, yikes. They haven't been eliminated yet. It does not look good for them. Paris and the Valiant have been eliminated. Atlanta is the only team that has clinched the playoffs. The play-ins being trying to find your playoff spot, the playoffs being the final tournament to win the whole thing. So Atlanta Reign has clinched the playoffs. Florida Mayhem, Houston Outlaws, and Boston Uprising, in just about that order, I think, have clinched the play-ins. Everyone else is kind of in the nebulous middle of the pack there with relatively similar records. And they're going to be fighting for the last few play-in spots, because we're going to have 3 who clinch the playoffs, and we're going to have, I want to say 6 spots, but we have a bracket. I'm just going to check the bracket before I talk out of hand. Yeah, I think we have 4 play-in slots. It's or 4 or 5 play-in slots. We don't have many. It's not great. So it's going to be a lot of people, a lot of teams scrabbling to try to get those last few spots into the playoffs, because it's the winner of the winners of the play-ins that get to go to the tournament. And that's going to be really rough, because your top 3 teams are clinched playoffs. Atlanta Reign is going. Florida Mayhem is next in line right under them. Exact same win-loss record as the Reign. The map differential is 4. So they are neck and neck. Houston Outlaws is in 3rd place right now, and Boston is in 4th. Regardless of what happens, you are either going to have Florida, Houston, or Boston in the play-ins. You're going to have one of these stupidly powerful teams in the play-ins. So that's kind of a spot clinched already, and everyone else is going to be fighting for what's left. So good luck, everybody. In the meantime, we are going to have a patch come through, and we've got a 2-week break. So we're looking at character adjustments. We're looking at probably a different map pool for the last 2 weeks of regular play. And we will see how teams adapt to it, because sometimes patches change virtually nothing, and sometimes patches change straight up everything. Patches have been known to make or break metas by nerfing or buffing a character to make them viable in what's good to play, or to just break them completely in competitive. So we'll see how this patch goes. We'll see how people recover. It is really going to be a matter of versatility. Do you have players who can play the characters that are going to be in the new meta? Can you wrap your brain around it well enough to play it at a high level? Is it something Atlanta's going to be really good at? Are we going to have Sombra meta again, so Lip can just lose his entire mind? Like, it's going to be wild. It's always a little crazy, and there's very little way of predicting what's going to happen. This patch might be enough to save the Gladiators, or it might put the final nail in their coffin. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be fun. In the meantime, I do have the bracket for APAC, and our lowermost matches are all contenders teams. Rough. Poker Face versus Panthera, and Rhodes versus Dreamers. Poker Face and Dreamers have been real powerhouses as of late, so we'll see how that goes. The winners of those matches are going on to face the Dallas Fuel and the Hangzhou Spark. So that's the Group A bracket. The Group B bracket has the Guangzhou Charge versus O2 Blast. And Guangzhou Charge has also had a vertical drop-off when it comes to the latter half of their season. So it's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good. And SPG versus the Shanghai Dragons. The winners of those matches will go to face the Seoul teams, the Infernal and the Dynasty, both of whom are looking extremely good. So that bracket's not going to start until mid-September. Again, we've got 2 weeks of play break, and then we are rolling right back into it with the last 2 weeks of regular play for NA. I don't know, man. I got to build my bracket at some point once we know. I'm sure my bracket will be immediately set on fire, as my brackets often are, but should be fun.
Well, I was just thinking, since we're covering a new show, you should offer your services again of helping people pick a team, even though things are a bit further along.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hello, if we have any new people.
I will absolutely assign you a team based on location, favorite color, vibe, narrative at this point. So yes. Not kidding about, hello, new people. My favorite team is the Houston Outlaws. I've been a fan of the Outlaws since season 1, when they were super cursed for about 3 seasons. Lost their ownership, lost their budget, got kicked out of the house they were in because the HOA didn't like them, lost their luggage. Like, the Outlaws had a really, really rough time first few seasons. And first season, they were calling the bottom 3 the stoplight teams, because it was Houston Outlaws in green in third to last place, Florida Mayhem, whose colors were bright yellow, like they had McDonald's colors. It was bright yellow and red. It was really bad. And then season 3, they went, hey, the Miami Vice colors we did for the alt jerseys went over really well. What if we changed to neon pink and black? Brilliant. Should have done that from the beginning. Second to last, and then dead last in bright red, Shanghai Dragons, who
That
went.
is a funny coincidence.
Yeah, the stoplight teams
Wow.
completely. Shanghai Dragons 30-0 the initial season. And it's looking like the Vegas Eternal are going to join them in that winless season streak because they should have won their match. Like their match against the Valiant was their chance, and they blew it. So better luck next time, Vegas. Attempts were made, attempts were not successful, and your strength of schedule does not look good. But yeah, I'll assign you a team. It'll be fun.
Yes. And then we have someone else in the chat saying, hello, Rob. Hello.
Yo, how we doing?
Yeah. So if you are new here, because now we're starting a new show, and those who have been here, hello. We are, even though it's summertime, we're going back to school. It's the Reign of the Seven Spellblades. It's a show we're covering. I was waiting for that one. I was just like, cheesy, I know. But
you had that in your pocket.
I did. I was ready for it. I was like,
to be fair, it's August. Some places are back in school already.
Or it's like next week or something. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, summer for me is till like at least September. But I feel that's a changing quarter. But yes, hello everybody.
It's too hot outside.
Yeah. Welcome if you are new. And yes. So go ahead.
Yeah, we are a touch behind on the summer season because, as you will recall, July was absolutely bonkers. A little busy.
Go check out our previous Anime Expo and Comic Con pre and post con coverage, as well as all the interviews here on Conversation.
Yeah, that's why it was bonkers. We were having a great time. So we are a little behind on the season. We are covering the first episode today, and then we will be doing 2 episodes per week until we catch up.
Yep.
I didn't bother doing the math to find out how long that'll take.
Well, there's only 5, I think, right now when I just looked. Yes. So it's.
But there will be a new one each week. So we're only knocking one out of it. Yeah, again, I didn't do the math.
It's okay.
If anyone in chat would like to do the math, I trust you. I was told once never to do math in public, and I hold to that. So.
Well, Giga Derek also just said, not through the 104 days of summer vacation. Yeah, no, not yet.
Yeah, but have you found your platypus?
And then I guess the other thing, though, too, was starting a little later. John Knight points out Reign of the Seven Spellblades has an English dub. So we are covering the subtitled version, but this starting late might line up nicely that for those watching the dub, which is sometimes behind, welcome as well. We are fans of both here on this channel and will not have any smack talk on either. But
you can have a preference, but don't be a dick.
Yep. So we're watching that over on Crunchyroll, the subtitle version. We're only covering episode 1 today.
Yes.
So let's talk, first of all, initial impressions. I think so far it's cute. It's pretty light so far. Like, there's some interesting things going on. I like you gave a great recommendation video of how we picked out our shows. And
so to be clear, that was the Mother's Basement ones to watch for the summer season video.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, you brought up this channel a lot. Yeah, I tend to trust his opinion on most things. So those ones to watch videos are very helpful.
I thought some of the commentary was interesting. I haven't watched the other shows that he was talking about, so I'm like, I can't say, but overall, I do agree with the sentiments. I do love that we get so many different magical creatures and characters right away. Character design looks nice, like it's a visually pretty show to watch, which is a thing I really enjoy. I like the swords essentially as their magical wand sort of thing, as well as wands. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm down for that. And a samurai, yay. So overall, I'm digging it. It is very and funny. I did appreciate some of the humor in there too. What did you think?
So I mainlined 3 episode 1s the other night. in terms of, all right, we need to pick a show. We've narrowed it down to these. Let's take a look and figure it out. And the first one that I tried, I got very, very bored very, very quickly and bounced off of extremely hard. This one was the next one that I tried, and it was night and day. I was in it from, I think it took maybe 3 minutes for me to go, oh no, I love this.
I
I
like the
love
evil
the smack
flowers,
talking
essentially. Yes.
flower. I
Yes.
like these weirdos. I like the,
Yep.
okay, here's the bookish one. Here's this, here's that. I
Yep.
love these characters.
Yep.
All of them.
Mhm.
I do love that we have definitely done the we're ta- we're taking an English name and we're applying it, but they're not doing the we're stringing a few syllables together so it's English sounding. Like they actually went for like I appreciate that extra step. I appreciate if it was is this a manga adaptation, a light novel adaptation, is it an original? I do not remember. But whoever made that decision, whoever did that writing, A plus work. Solid names. So yeah, I really enjoyed this.
It's a
Um
light novel series.
Light novel. Okay. Yeah, so
Published originally in 2018,
okay, so fairly
and
modern.
then there's a manga in 2019.
Okay.
So, I would
So
also
yeah.
say that's a good, progression of popularity, that it's a
Yeah.
well-known and liked enough show that they're still making that, and it only just came out July 8th, so
Yeah.
we just got it.
So
Um,
for me, I love that the details really made it like, yeah, the swords being wands, but also some of our introductions to these characters being like, oh, this is my special interest, this is what I'm into, and the immediate fight over no, the troll shouldn't be in the beast parade. Like trolls are sapient creatures, they're not
mhm.
monsters. Well, they attack us, well, we invade their territory. So the fact that the show is willing to have that conversation and not sit here and go, this person's right, this person's wrong, and very much say like that Katie knows more about trolls and magical creatures and understands that like they have their own culture, they're their own people, we are the invasive species in their territory, whereas Guy is looking at it from the farmers area like this is our livelihood, this is what we do, they are a nuisance, they're making it hard for us to live. So it's that sort of thing where each viewpoint is given its weight and the narrative doesn't go, oh yeah, this one's right, oh yeah, this one's wrong. And I also appreciate that we did not solve the immediate problem by killing the troll. I was kind of waiting for that to happen and going, that's going to be a weird. And then, no, we threaded that needle very nicely.
I was bummed with the dogs getting killed, or at least one of them getting killed, though. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, that
Like,
was a little rough."
it was like partway through the episode, we're sitting here, oh, like, oh, they're having this conversation, they're introducing themselves, we're getting everyone's personalities. I love Pete. He's currently my favorite, our little bookish weirdo. I love him. And I turned to my roommate and went, we're having this really great time with this fun little banquet. And 10 minutes ago, this show pancaked a dog. Like, it was that sort of, this is the level of violence that you can expect. Here is your warning. And I
Thank you, but
appreciate those warning shots. Like, not everyone does that. Overlord took 3 episodes to show me the kind of violence it was going to give me. And by then, it was too late to back out. So I loved that.
Mhm.
Our 2 main characters, I'm getting a weird vibe, just in
Okay.
terms of storytelling
Okay.
perspective. Like,
Do tell.
our
Mhm.
4 other characters are, I can't remember her name, but Ringlets and Pete
Uh,
and Katie and Guy. All of them feel like they belong here. All of them feel like they are very much a part of this world. And yes, they're here to go to this school.
Michaela? It's spelled like,
Michaela,
yeah,
thank you. Yes.
Michela, Michaela?
Yeah, that's Michaela. Uh, our samurai and our protagonist both feel like they came from somewhere else. Like, I'm reminded of the mid-aughts
Mm.
where everyone was doing fan fiction where they put their favorites in Harry Potter. And it's
Mm.
like, okay, your favorite, your Blorbo from your anime or your book or your TV show or whatever got their Hogwarts letter or got recruited as a teacher or
Mm.
whatever and showed up. Like, and the better ones were able to weave it in well. And the other ones were transparent wish fulfillment. And there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. Live your bliss. It feels a little bit like our 2 deuteragonists are doing that. Like, our
Hmm.
samurai is definitely from a shonen anime, and like, she got her Hogwarts letter and she came here. And our protagonist feels like he's from a magical political thriller. Got the bodyguard that his older brother
Mm.
sent, like,
Mhm.
is well
Mhm.
rounded and already has really good ideas and really good strategy and
Mhm.
skills, and is also here at this school. Like, it feels a little bit like that, not in a bad way.
Hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
waiting to see how this plays out, but that's the vibes I'm getting. It's like, you two came from very, very different stories from this one. Everyone else belongs here. Where did you guys come from?
Well, and they also have we get these weird memory dream things where he has a connection to her already, or she reminds him of somebody else, so we don't know that
Yeah.
too. So maybe that's part of it. But
Yeah.
that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way, but I'm like, yes. I really appreciate. It was like, let me see if we can say. So we have Oliver
Okay.
and Nan Nanoi, Nanao, Nan Nanoa. Sorry if I'm
N
saying it
N A
wrong.
N A.
Oh, so
Now,
Nanao. Um,
I
I
guess.
our samurai. I'm
I'm
like,
bad at this.
not because it's not Nana. Yeah. So I agree. Our samurai and our political dude. Their fountain scene was amusing. I
Yeah.
appreciated the humor and like fan service of that without being too obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because we're not against fan service here. If you're new here, it's just more when it's just like, okay, we get it. But I felt
Yeah.
this was done in an entertaining way, and it does remind me of older anime, the convenient, like, I put my hand up and it blocks it, and it's like, it's just
And also,
I hmm,
yeah, it felt like something that would have come from a shonen anime. It
yeah.
felt like a tonal thing that she brought with her.
And I like her nonchalance about everything of, like,
Oh, yeah.
why? I don't have anything to be, like, shy about here. What's the problem? And I kind of felt that was refreshing too, that she's very comfortable in herself. But that's even the earlier scene too, where he said, "Okay, so like, what was your plan?" She's like, "I don't have a plan. I know. I go with my gut." And so I
Yeah.
like this lady. She's very fun.
Like, this
And,
katana doesn't have a cutting edge, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh god, she's
oh,
Kenshin."
yeah,
Fewer brains. She's not hiding the brain cells. She just doesn't have them.
yeah. Or
Very, very
um,
shonen protagonist.
I wouldn't necessarily go not having the brain cells. It's more just it doesn't even register as a problem for her. Like she's that comfortable with her ability that she's not afraid and goes like, "Yeah, I know that's not a problem. I'd figure something out." So, but
And
this
she's
is
also
still
got the innocence
yeah,
color. What was that
yes.
what it was called?
So the way I interpret that, yeah, they said innocence color, so it's like
Okay.
white. So
Yeah.
it's the remove no color at all. And I would go with that way rather than it's the color white. It's more the absence of color.
Yeah.
And it was something like you could get them like absorb magic from the air and like in your body, and so then that's like pure.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting and that was cool. And then her changed right back too. So
Essentially reading
mhm.
as great magical potential.
Yeah, and I had wondered if that's a thing that she actively turns on
I
or
don't
does it
think
happen
so.
naturally? Well, because I thought that was maybe part of the attack as well, in terms of like innocent, in terms of she wasn't necessarily trying to kill it. So I had wondered if
Oh,
that tied in that way as well.
I just read it in terms of like, this is what happens. It's
Yeah.
probably what got her picked by the professor to be like, ah,
Yeah.
yeah, you get my slot, go.
That was also kind of weird too, with Michaela going, "Oh, that's from my dad who found it." I'm like, "What are these faces you're making,
I
Michaela?
love it so
Is your
much.
dad okay?" Like,
It's like,
uh,
okay, well, I mean, we haven't met him yet, and I'm
we
sure
have
we
not,
will.
and because she said he sometimes is a professor there, so,
Yeah. Mhm.
I think it's hard to compare to other hard not to compare to other magical school things,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
is still I'm digging I don't feel I'm bored with any tropes or
Yeah.
anything, and I'm intrigued enough to know where it goes, and, oh my gosh, that food looks so good. I
I
was like, "Ah,"
know.
I went other things.
I do appreciate the whole Because part of this is, yeah, 20% of you aren't going to make it out of here in one
That
piece.
too.
And the whole, you will either summon something and then get dragged back with it when it leaves, or you're going to just completely lose your minds and try to murder people. It's like, we call it getting lost in the spell. I'm like, I am going to wind up calling that getting lost in the sauce more than once. It's going to happen. I'm just going to lay
Yeah,
that down now.
that's fair.
But the moment there that I want to kind of focus on a little bit
Mm-hmm.
is, first of all, where is the rest of the headmaster's shirt? Usually, most of these character signs just make perfect sense to me, and then that one rolls out, and I'm like, why? Just why?
Because
Where is it though? It looks like you forgot your shirt. That's an incredible undergarment. I want to know where you got it. Now, where's your shirt? You know, that sort of thing. But
also she's in pain.
that's the bit
That was
of
interesting.
now noticing, like, you seem like you're in pain. And it's
Mhm.
played off as kind of that goofy, doesn't really get the decorum, whatever, we're having fun, the shonen protagonist thing. But I trust that intuition. Like, I do think something's up. I do think she's the only one who noticed it. But given how she approaches life and given how she communicates, she didn't really have the, hey, something's up. It's just, oh, you look like you're in pain. Here's a way to fix that. You're welcome.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I really do like and I respect the school's philosophy of its freedom is your number one thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But your fate is 100% in your hands.
Good luck with that.
Yay. We like a thing that lets people have autonomy over their future.
Your freedom is
Yay.
100% in your hands. I don't know, handing that to a bunch of teenagers is one fear.
That's fair.
Again, I used to work at a high school. There's
Well, they're there for 7 years too, which is interesting. A nice
yeah.
long chunk of time.
Oh yeah.
Seems well, yeah, longer than regular high school. So,
I mean, 7 years is essentially your middle and high school career.
well, we don't know how old they are. We
Yeah,
didn't have
we have
any ages yet.
I don't think so. And I mean, it's anime, so it
Mhm.
could be anything from 13 to 17 to
Yep, I was
start.
trying to see if Wikipedia had the info right away. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, not yet.
My
Just names.
assumption would be on the younger side, like 14-ish, because
Well,
that tends to be your high school freshman.
and is there varying ages within the freshmen as well too? Like, did they come
Possibly.
in later? Because some of them do seem a little more grounded than others.
Yeah.
But that could be life experience.
Yep.
So,
And also keeping in mind that 4 of the 6 that we get here come from a pedigreed background.
mhm,
Like, they knew they were coming to this school, they were prepared for it. Nanao
mhm.
is doing her own thing, but this is me coming back to, oh yeah, no, Pete's my favorite. The whole being the
He's our
first,
muggle, essentially,
yeah,
muggle family.
yeah,
Yep.
being the first in his family to have magic and having to take an exam and basically fight to get one of the few. He's the
Mhm.
scholarship kid at the rich kids school.
Yep.
And so being really, really obsessed with, like, the theoretical things and studying and reading, but also being the only one who was winded when he was running towards the problem. Like, he still went for it, but he
Yeah.
showed up winded. And I'm like, that was a bit of comedy, but also I love him. I love
Yes.
him. He's my favorite. Uh yeah, and can we talk about how someone tried to get Katie murdered on her first day of school?
Right. And then I had
Just
half
who
wondered
was that?
if that was the bodyguard of Oliver. If only because it was the cloaked, like, covered face thing.
Yeah.
No other connection. But it feels like a weird choice to have done that. But yeah, that was a bit intense to get murdered first day of school.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
hmm.
statistically, we have 6 here and then we have the bodyguard, Teresa, I believe.
I think so.
And so there's our 7 spell blades. Statistically,
Uh-huh.
one of them, at least one of them's going to die. The whole 20% of you ain't making it out of here. So, if they really wanted to twist the knife, they would wait until we cared about everyone and then just do a murder.
Yeah.
So I am not expecting plot armor in this story. I'm expecting plot armor for Oliver and for Nanao.
Yes.
Unfortunately, everyone else is probably on the chopping block here.
Yeah.
And again, it's entirely possible the whole, oh, 20% of you won't make it out is just, for the drama. But like
Yep.
statistically, this friend group is big enough that at least one of them is probably going to bite it before the end of the show. At least.
I hope not. Well, it depends.
I
That
know. I love them
what
already.
kind of show is this? How dark
Exactly.
is it going? And we don't know yet.
Again, in the
So,
first 10 minutes, they did pancake a dog.
this is true.
This is also the kind of show that is
Yeah.
willing to do the whimsy of banquets on the ceiling and tucking in your roommate who fell asleep reading and partner it with look to your left, look to your right. One of those people is probably going to die, and a
Yeah.
debate on the rights of trolls and whether they're
Yeah.
considered monsters. Like, I feel like this show is going to contain multitudes. I'm
Yes. Agreed.
hoping
I
that's the
hope so. That's
case.
because it does feel a teeny bit surface level, but this is only
Mhm.
episode 1 with like
Mhm.
sprinkles of some interesting, like, ooh, we're gonna go somewhere. So I am excited to see more. Was there any other
It's
thoughts you
episode
had?
1, and we had to world build, introduce 7 unique
Yes.
characters, one of whom we still know pretty much nothing about, and a few essential NPCs. Like,
Okay.
it did the best it could with what it had, but
Ooh.
this is the introduction episode.
Giga Derek says, I'm expecting 1 death and 1 or 2 permanent injuries.
Let's do it.
Intriguing.
Let's
Maybe.
do it.
Give
Yeah.
me stakes and
Yeah.
yeah. Let's make it serious. I like it.
Again, I'm foreseeing plot armor for our
Mhm.
main 2, but not for anyone
Yeah.
else.
Agreed.
And
I
I
feel they're
do
gonna stay for a while.
Yeah, and I do wanna make this clear while we're
Mm.
talking about this, is that, yeah, there's gonna be Harry Potter references because that's kind of the cultural yardstick. It's such a juggernaut of a franchise that it's hard not to make those references and comparisons because
Mhm.
it's just that's the language at this point. In much the same way that it's very difficult to reference a stuck in a game isekai without a Sword Art Online comparison. Sword Art Online is that really big cultural touchstone, regardless of what you think of it.
Mhm.
I want to make it very clear that that is not support. That
Mm.
is not support for Rowling. That is not support for her political views. Just going to be real clear about that one.
I was gonna say they're too young for it, but I would give my shout out to one I do support though, The Magicians over on Sci-Fi Channel, which does
Yeah.
lead us into stuff you should check out. Or it shall. The
Yes.
Magicians. If you want more of this magical fix, but you want your characters to be a little more rock and roll and older, so they're not children, there's college version of it essentially, which is The Magicians. It's over on Sci-Fi Channel. The very beginning is amazing. I think by the end, there's definitely some stuff that is like, very much adult trigger warnings of all kinds of different things that do happen in that show because these are adults. So just be forewarned of that. But overall, fantastic. Super. I loved it as a show. I thought it was super entertaining. Um, I was gonna say I don't think I've had as much time to watch much stuff this week. Um, that'd be the one I would recommend. Oh, wait a minute. We do have a movie we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, we've both
Yes.
seen Barbie at this point.
Yes. Did you have any other recommendations, or should we just chat about that?
I do have other
Okay,
recommendations
go for
because
that first.
Barbie's not the only movie I've seen over the
Yay!
past 2 weeks. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant
Yes.
Mayhem dropped, and I definitely went and put that in my eyeballs on Tuesday night. I love it. It's amazing. They really did focus on the teenager part of things, and you can definitely tell the points where they just left the mics recording for the actors and then used what they were doing in the movie. Like, there
Love
is
it.
some gross out humor. The emetophobe in me had some problems at some points, but it's a lot of fun. It's very heartfelt. I really loved this take on Splinter,
Okay.
actually, and
Mm,
approaching the overprotective parent idea and,
mm.
not beating it over the head, but definitely looking at this is why it works this way. This is why he thinks this way. This is how it affects things. Like, I really did enjoy this movie. The villain was so much fun. The multiple villains were so much fun. There was a huge cast. They were all pretty solidly used. And of course, the turtles were fantastic. I am usually a Donatello is my favorite regardless. I got to give it to Leo in this movie. He is a terminal good child. And it's not like, oh, he's a good kid. It's like, oh no, you're the responsible one. You're the one where if something needs to get done, you're going to wind up doing it because your siblings won't. Like the good kid, the Catholic guilt kid. I'm like, shout out to that child. That was me growing up. I love it.
Nice.
It's a very good iteration. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Yes.
Before we do talk about the other movie, another shout out in the chat. John Knight says, I watched some interviews with the English voice actors of One Piece film Red and then watched the film on Blu ray with special episodes that feature a prologue to the film Red. Oh, very cool. If you have not, you should check out the interviews here on this channel. We also talk to the voice actors for One Piece film Red. There are in-person ones with the Animationist Film Festival, and then there are the virtual junkets, but I'm pretty sure I just put them all in the same playlist. Or if you're just interested in voice actor interviews, there's an entire voice actor interview playlist here on Fanversation. So check
It's
that
so
out.
big. There's so many.
Yes. I feel
Yes.
since we're going to talk about it a little bit more, let's make a banner.
Yeah.
So here we go. Also, we are doing spoilers because I feel there's
Are we
not
doing
really.
spoilers?
Okay, maybe not spoilers.
Okay, but if you're going to do spoilers, put it in the banner.
Yes.
For the
Okay.
humans who are scrubbing through and seeing what's safe. Where it's we're gonna talk spoilers for Barbie. Yes, it is now on Crunchyroll.
That's one film.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero is also now on
Okay.
Crunchyroll, and I need to put that in my eyeballs again because that is a fun one. I do
All
love
right.
that movie.
So right now we're just going to talk about regular thoughts on it, but then we'll get into this because I
Okay.
feel we should do that. So,
Okay.
just because less filtered commentary, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
overall, I think you saw it before I did. So what did you think, Katie?
I think I saw it on Thursday 2 weeks ago. Was that before you?
Yes, because I just saw it yesterday.
Ah,
Yesterday, yeah.
yeah. It's
What day
had
is today?
it's had some time to percolate. I've had some
Yeah.
time to see some other things. I loved it. It was really good. I think I'm one of the few people who didn't have the I cried at some point experience.
I didn't cry either, but I
Okay.
get how it could make you feel
Oh
that
yeah.
way for sure, but that
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
quite it for me. But yes,
That
continue.
I really appreciated it. I appreciated a lot of the small moments were
Mhm,
just
mhm.
frankly amazing. Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
larger set pieces were a lot of fun. Yeah, there was I think they had a paint shortage because they used so much pink paint on that set. Like it caused a pink paint shortage.
I believe it. Yeah.
But this movie is for everyone. This movie is for everyone. I don't care whether you played with Barbies or not. I don't care if you're into Barbie. Doesn't matter. This movie is for everyone. Park it, watch the movie. Whether or not you choose to watch Oppenheimer beforehand is up to you. I did not because I will probably not be watching Oppenheimer, but the double feature is also a valid way to go about it. But yeah, no, this this movie was so good, you guys.
I second that. I did not do a double feature. That was one movie my friend and I were like, we want to go see Barbie. And
Mhm.
I texted my brother. I'm like, do you want to see Barbie tomorrow? And he's like, yes. So my brother came down to where I am, and we all enjoyed it. It was so nice too to have like that group. We had a great theater in terms of, at least we all felt very comfortable. So many laugh out loud moments. I was surprised by how funny it was. Or there was some really good like ha like that kind of laughing, which I
Yeah.
did like, and like really good commentary in terms of like, and then like check with my younger brother, like, you liked it, right? He's like, yeah, he really enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And overall, just really great time. Visually, it's very fun. I think there's some great messaging in there. I don't feel
Yeah.
it's like bashing you over the head. Like some of the commentary that's like me, and I was like, what? Ah, but overall, I would say I thought it was, yeah, very entertaining, very funny, and very informative. Also, just the history of Barbie too. Like, and I
Yeah.
agree, you don't have to have ever played with Barbies. I mean, I did too. I played with Barbies. I actually still have some Barbies, but I have like I have Mulder and Scully Barbie. I have Esmeralda and Phoebus Barbie. So, and I also have one, yeah, which are sitting right next to my Spider-Man 2099 and other Spider-Man action figures that are like this big. So they're like the same kind of shape.
I had a
Over,
bunch, but I never really
yeah.
liked them. There's something about fake hair that just makes me go.
Oh, that's fair.
So
That
I
is fair.
did My Little Ponies because for some reason that
Yep.
was different. I don't know why that was different, but it was.
Yep.
And
I
a
see
lot of
that.
stuffed animals
Yep. I had them
and
too.
Ninja Turtles. Just
I
a
did.
whole
Yep.
box of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I felt also I'm like, I did adventure stuff with my Barbies. I didn't do just like playing house or whatever. It was like, no, we're doing like Tomb Raider style. Like they're going on adventures and exploring and
Oh yeah.
cool stuff. But yeah, I think even if you've never had a Barbie ever, you'll still enjoy it. And if you've had Barbie, there's lots of fun moments. A lot of history of random editions of Barbie that came out really cool,
Mhm.
which some I do remember, and some I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. And why did that exist? But
Yeah.
that's okay. Stay through the credits. There's some fun photos that are animated and like, or more like a magazine drawn image of other
Yeah.
editions of Barbie, which was really kind of cool to see. So
Yeah, the
that's
credits
it.
are very well done.
Yes. All right. Just, I mean, I don't know how spoilery we're gonna get, but just in case there's anything that, uh, but yeah. So I've
I
seen a lot of TikTok analysis on this, and I do think I'm like, I think it's interesting to see how upset some people are about it. And we're going to also start this with art is art, it's subjective. If you don't like something, that's okay. But maybe sometimes you might want to like sit with why do you not like it or why does it bother you?
I'm gonna
Uh
be real about this. There
yes.
are some people for whom a woman opening her mouth at all is too much.
This is fair.
Mm, mm, mm. So
mm,
yeah,
mm.
it's okay to not like the movie. My question is going to be, why didn't you like it?
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So I think you should maybe sit with maybe why it bothered you and ask those who did like it and actually listen to hear about
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of great TikTok discussions on it. And one of them was someone was saying how some people had a problem that the men are associating with Ken. And it's like, Ken's not a representation of men in the movie. It's like, no, that's not. This is what is a bad example and what the patriarchy does to you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Ken is very much the vehicle of this is how patriarchy poisons men as well.
mhm,
The
mhm.
expectations that they're supposed to fulfill, what it puts on them, and
Yeah.
him admitting at the end, like, yeah, once I found out it wasn't about horses, I was a lot less interested. I'm like, let Ken be a horse boy. Let him be a horse boy.
And it's also the idea that Ken it only functions and is only fulfilled when he is with Barbie and connect to Barbie. And it's like we're individuals, and it's like you shouldn't necessarily have to
Yeah.
rely on somebody like that. So I think there's some good messaging that way. And it's like, no, no, be an Alan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
your identity should not be predicated on your relationship to someone else
hmm
in any capacity, familial,
Yes.
romantic, workplace,
Mhm.
anything. Your identity is not predicated on someone else's existence.
Yep.
And they made it clear like they're better off apart. Ken's better off figuring out who he is. And Barbie also
hmm
apologizing, like, I took you for granted.
hmm
Not every night had to be girls' night.
Yep.
So just,
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
So I think that was really great how they addressed all of those aspects as well. And then,
Yeah.
there isn't really an ending because that's the point. Like there's not really an end to the story.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Although I
So,
know most people had their crying moment during America Ferrera's monologue about
oh, it's so
what it
true and
means to
so
be
good.
a woman
Yes.
under the patriarchy, what you have to do and what you
Mhm.
can and cannot do. Uh, I just have to say that the bit that took me straight out of the emotions and had me laughing my face off
Hmm.
is Barbie having the breakdown and then the narrator coming back in for the first time in 45 minutes and going, "A note to the filmmakers, Margot Robbie is not the correct person to cast if you want to say this." And because it's just her talking about, "I'm ugly, I feel ugly," and just that little lampshade hang absolutely lost my noise in the middle of the theater.
Oh, I
I
love that.
was
Loved it.
howling. I
Yep.
forgot we had a narrator. So
Yes.
to have Dame Helen Mirren come back and be
Mhm.
like, "Yo,
Mhm.
by the way, just done.
And
Done."
even the quip of white savior Barbie.
Yes.
I
Can we
appreciate that.
can we
I
talk about
appreciate. Oh,
depression, Barbie? Can we talk about depression, Barbie?
I'm just gonna lay here. I
Yeah.
was gonna say I do appreciate that she also I like that they called her out on that or called out the situation on that, but then how she acknowledges, oh no, it's not just me, it's all that.
Yeah.
It was more of a group effort. Um, I I guess it's almost ironic. I'm like, I know I've seen people complain it doesn't do enough, which I'm like, so isn't this kind of the point? It doesn't do enough and it does too much and
Yeah.
you can't win. And I'm like, I feel that's kind of the point. So if you're making that argument, I'm like, did you get the movie?
And the thing
So
is, for this movie, like, if you're really wanting to go into something that really leans into feminism, at like, if you want something that really goes forward at a higher level, there are definitely movies and books and TV shows, etc., that are very, very good for that. Barbie is a 101 primer. That is what this movie is meant to be. Like, it's
mm-hmm,
validation for
mm-hmm,
everyone who's lived through that. It's an eye opener for people who maybe hadn't considered it and then are sitting there and going, "Oh my God, I feel seen in a way that I never expected of
yeah,
every gender, not
yep,
just women, every gender, all of them."
yep,
So it doesn't have to be, you know, she's everything, he's just Ken. Like, it doesn't have to be everything. And that is the point of the movie. And that it's
mm-hmm,
untenable to be everything for everyone and to try and balance those contradictions. Like, so
yes,
if you don't think Barbie did enough, that means that you already know enough that you didn't need the 101 primer.
mm-hmm,
That means that you can then turn around and if people are asking for, "I want more on these points Barbie brought up, I want more media like this." If you have the 102 and the 201 and the 301, then you can say, "Hey, you liked Barbie, you liked talking about this. Here's the next stepping stone. Here's the next one that you want to look at. Here's what it's about. Here's what it addresses." Like, if you
mm-hmm,
thought that Barbie didn't do enough, that means that you didn't need that class. There
mm,
are people who definitely did. There are people
yes,
for whom this really resonated, and it's accessible. It's meant for them.
mm-hmm,
It's putting the pill in the bit of cheese in order to get your dog to eat it. You know? There's a
and
treat, but there's also something good for you inside.
And huge congrats to the whole team, Greta Gerwig,
Oh my
for
god, yes.
breaking so many record numbers and things. It's like, yes,
Didn't it cross $1 billion in
I
like
think it
17
did.
days?
I think so.
Like, it just crossed a
Yep.
billion. It has not been, it dropped Comic-Con weekend, you guys, and Comic-Con was not that long ago.
Yep.
Hasn't even been a month.
Yep. So I feel that was our summary on it.
Yeah,
What are your
yeah.
thoughts on the movie? But I would preface, be kind. Don't say mean stuff. You can dislike it, but
Again,
we're
it's
gonna keep
okay
this
to not
civil.
like things. Don't be a dick about the things you don't like.
Yes.
Very simple, very easy. You're allowed
Boom.
to have an opinion. You're not allowed to bludgeon other people with it.
Yep. Don't yuck on someone else's yum.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I firmly believe that all of you are capable of having a polite discussion in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that you are capable of doing that.
Hmm. And speaking of commenting, comment on the video in general and make sure to give the video a thumbs up and hit
Yep.
the subscribe button. And Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reaction videos, discussion videos, etc., they live on that YouTube. If you want me to assign you an Overwatch team, feel free to reach out to me on any of the socials, on the Twitter and the Tumblr and the whatnot, and I would be happy to assign you one. I enjoy doing that. It's enrichment for my enclosure, as it were. I am also a co-host on Silver Screams on YouTube. It is the horror channel that my roommate and I do, where we do some in-depth discussion on horror and some just straight up reaction videos. So if you would like to see me jump out of my skin, check the Halloween trailers. Those are usually pretty good for that.
Nice. And y'all can find me online. There we go, that direction. 81 episodes. I'm still like,
we'll figure it out eventually.
Yep.
It'll happen.
Everywhere across the social webs at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And there's different stuff posted here on the Fanversation channel. So just check most recent videos. We have a bunch of videos from Comic-Con and playlists, as we mentioned earlier, of voice actors and other anime related content. So if you're new here, welcome. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. And we are here every Monday night, 7:30, bringing you anime news, geeky content, and everything all across that spectrum of information. Yes, continue the discussion online, as well as, boom, NTATNB. That is our Twitter for the channel, or the show. Fanversation also has a Twitter as well, and a TikTok.
Yes.
So if you're over there, but yes, follow us here, and I think that does it. Thank you, everybody.
So.
Yes, as Giga Derek said, have a good night, everybody, or whenever you're watching this too. And is it Monday yet? Not yet, but it will be soon. Yay.
Get home safe if you're not already home. Make sure you drink some water. And
Yes,
if you think you've
stay
had enough
hydrated.
water, make sure you drink more water anyway.
Yeah. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.